Welcome again, students. Today's lesson is on fractions. Today's topic, fractions. What is a fraction? A fraction is part of a set or part of a whole. It has two parts, a numerator and a denominator. So the number that's above the bar line is called the numerator, and the number that's below the bar line is called the denominator. It's important for you to know what these terms mean. Okay? Again, we have some other terms here that you will see from time to time, and you have to know what these terms are, what they mean. So first we have proper fractions. Okay, proper fractions, that's when the numerator, remember this is the number at the top, is smaller than the number at the bottom. It's a proper fraction because, like we said, the fraction is part of a whole. So if it's part of a whole, that means it's going to be less than the entire thing. So in this example, it's 1 out of the 3 parts, 5 out of 6 parts, and 10 out of 31 parts. Our second type of fraction is an improper fraction. And of course, that's the opposite of the proper fraction. So the examples for our improper fractions are 10 over 3, and as you can see, the numerator is larger than the denominator. So that's not the way fractions are usually written. As we said, it's not a proper fraction, because if it's a proper fraction, the number at the top should be smaller. So we call this one an improper fraction because the number at the top is larger. Again, the next example, 11 over 5, and then 20 over 7. Then we have what we call mixed numbers, okay? So they're called mixed. If you notice the word mixed, it means that we have two different things coming together. So we have the whole number. In this example, that's 1, and then we have the fractional part, which is a half, okay? So mixed numbers contain both a whole number and a fractional part. So the examples here, 1 1/2, 3 2/5, or 3 2 over 5, 11 3/7, or 11 3 over 7. Okay, so as we said, just to recap, a fraction is part of a set or part of a whole. And we have to remember what the two parts of the fractions, the two parts are. We have the numerator and the denominator. So the numerator basically tells us how many parts we have taken out of the entire whole, right? So in this case, and let me put an example here, we had, say, a cake, and we have 4 slices. We cut it into 4 slices. Now I'm going to take a slice for myself. So I have taken 1 out of the 4 parts. Remember, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, and I've taken 1 part out of the 4. So the 1 at the top represents what I have taken out for myself, and the 4 represents the total number of parts, or the total number of slices that the cake had. Alright, so we are now going to be learning how to change from mixed numbers to improper fractions, and then how to change from improper fractions to mixed numbers. Okay, so pay careful attention to the steps. To change from a mixed number to an improper fraction, we multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then we add the numerator. Okay, and let's see what we're going to do with the result. So let's start. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So the result, we place it over the denominator. So our answer would be 3 over 2. Again, we multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then we add the numerator to our answer. The result gets placed over the denominator. Okay, let's try the next one. Again, we're going to multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then add the numerator. Alright, so 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 3 is 24. and that goes over the denominator. So our answer is 24 over 7. Let's work our final example. So we're going to multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then we're going to add our numerator. So 3 times 10 is 30. 30 plus 2 is 32. That goes over the denominator. So our answer is 32 over 3. Once again, we multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then we add the numerator. The result goes over the denominator. Okay? Now we're going to learn how to change from an improper fraction to mixed numbers. Alright? So what we're going to do, we're going to be dividing the numerator by the denominator. Okay? So when we divide, or say how many groups of 4 can we get out of 9? So it's basically 9 divided by 4, or how many groups of 4 can we get out of 9? The answer is 2. The remainder. So when we get our 2 groups of 4 out of 9, that was 8, right? So we took 8 out. We are left with 1. That's the remainder. And of course, it goes back over our denominator. Okay, let's do the second one. Again, remember we're dividing the numerator by the denominator. So how many groups of 2 can we get out of 3? Right? So 3 divided by 2 is 1, and that's our whole number. How much is left when we take out the group of 2 out of 3? 1 is left, and that goes over our denominator. So the answer is 1.5. Remember, our mixed numbers, there's a whole number and a fractional part. Okay? Let's do our third example. We have 20. Again, we're dividing our numerator by our our denominator. We're dividing our numerator by our denominator. How many groups of 7 can we get out of 20? The answer is 2. Alright? 2 groups of 7, that's 14. So the remainder would be 6. So 6 goes over our denominator, which is 7. So when we divide 20 by 7, we got 2 whole numbers, right? We can get 2 groups of 7 out of 20. The remainder, whatever is left after we take out the 2 groups, in this case 6, it goes over the denominator. So there you have it, changing from mixed numbers to improper fractions, and then changing from improper fractions to mixed numbers. You will see the importance of this when we get to our next lesson, which will be adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplying fractions.